I don't know, it started 2 or 3 years old. I have been sexually abused by my father and my stepmother. The very people that were supposed to be helping me were the ones hurting me the most. And at the age of 14, my stepmother had become jealous of me. I remember riding the bus to school and getting to school, and it was just a normal day. I had no idea what was about to occur in my life. Around 1 o'clock, I get called to the office, and my stepmother is standing there across the counter, and she checks me out, and they took me down to the courthouse, checked me out of school, took me to the courthouse and signed a paper to allow me to get married to a man I did not even know. And she's given me instructions on after school that I was to meet, what the vehicle looked like and that they were going to pick me up. And I was terrified and felt like a piece of trash thrown out. 3:30 came and the vehicle that she had described pulled up. I got in the vehicle. He drove me to the courthouse, and his son and I got married standing in the courthouse. The next 5 years I spent beaten, raped on a continuous basis as well. Tortured is an understatement. A couple of years into this marriage, I find out I'm pregnant. The very first thoughts in my mind were, I've got to protect this child. How am I going to protect this child? And, 2 years later, another son. It was on a Sunday, December 3rd. I'll never forget it. He's telling me he's taking my children to his mom. And he had told me that we were going to go cut a Christmas tree. I remember it was drizzling and we're walking around, and it seemed like we walked forever. He cranks the chainsaw and he's just standing there holding it, letting it idle in his hand. And I remember thinking, something's not right. He turns around in full force swing with it. As I fell to the ground, he's holding it to my ribs. He then draws back and hits me a second time, and he is attempting to literally, what I think, cut me in half. And I am at this moment praying to a God I don't know to save my life. The next thing I know, he had gotten the gas can out of the back of the truck, and I was swallowing gasoline. He's pouring it all over me. He pulls out a box of matches and he starts lighting matches, or trying to light matches. And somehow he made it through that box of matches without being able to light me on fire. He grabs me by the back of the hair and he drags me to the truck, and he puts me in the truck. And as he's driving me up to the house, he's telling me, I can come home at any time, so don't even try to go anywhere. As he's getting ready to leave, it makes it very clear that he will come back, and he can come back at any time. I'm listening to the gravel crunch as he's going down this long driveway, and I grabbed a chair and I started hitting the window to break it, doing anything I could. And I was able to break the window, and I knew at that point that if I didn't hurry up and get out of there and he come back, we were all dead. I grabbed my 1 and 3-year-old child and climbed through the window, and I started running in the woods, but I ran up to the back of this house and started panicking and banging on the door. And when the person opened the door and looked at me, he yelled to his wife to call the police. So the police came and they got me. So as time goes on, obviously these things come out in different ways, the hurt, the pain. I started seeking this God, and I read in the Bible that, if we want to be forgiven, then we must forgive. And I was like, well, God, I want to be forgiven, so I forgive them. And I thought it was that easy, but I was fooling myself. The road to forgiveness is a long one, but it's more than just forgiving the people. You have to release them to God. You have to release their consequences. You have to make the effort and choose to say, it's no longer my concern whether they do or don't ask for forgiveness. What my concern should be that they find Jesus. What my concern should be that they find healing from the wounds that cause them to be the people that they are. When God is telling us this, to forgive, He's not telling us to help other people in the aspect of their own forgiveness, but to help us surrender and to release all that's holding us back so that He can begin the healing process and mend those broken parts so that we can be a disciple, that we can be a leader, that we can be an example to show people what that peace looks like, to live that.